Alright, this is going to be World of Tanks Bolt Action Edition. Holy crap, I got a lot of armor out here. I got to put some decals and stuff on, but Jesus, this is a one-man show, so give me a break. Doing the best we can here. Alright, I'll go with the German side first, then I'll try to get on this side of the camera and not break my neck on these wires and shit down here. I got a Stug 4, the old Puma, first of Panzer IV time. There's another Panzer IV. Wirbelwind, just got that done last night. Ferdinand, or God, what the hell's the other name for that bastard? One of them has a machine gun on board. Machine guns aren't going to matter much in this game today, but oh well. Go with the Ferdy, just because of World of Tanks. Yog Tiger. Crap, that's going to be fun. I want to see if that thing sucks or not. Hopefully it doesn't. But shit, who knows? It might break down and roll into the lake. Regular Tiger. Brumbar. That could be the X Factor, could be a piece of crap. I don't know, a lot of these tanks could be that way. There's my fun little Hetzer. Hopefully no one shoots at him, so he just can cruise through and do his own thing. A Panther, I think it's an A. And then the last one is a last Panzer IV. So 3 Panzer IVs and then a bunch of other little stuff in the middle. There is your German side. I'm going to scroll out here so you can see the battlefield. They're up on a hill on the far right of my damn basement. Not a lot of terrain. This is just a format. A template basically for I can build other stuff onto as I can financially do it. You have to excuse my kids screaming at each other in the background. River in the middle, and then let's go over here. I'm gonna just swing over and get this one for you. Alright, let's zoom in here and we'll get the American side. I really poured this on the last little bit to try to get the American armor a bit more present, like they were a joke before. Hellcat, haven't used one of those in a battle, of course, so that's kind of first. I got 3 of those. That's a Sherman 75. I got 3 of those too. I got that American Tank Platoon box, or it was, so it's kind of cool. Priest, got that done last night. The 105 on it. That is, I gotta think about this. That's the Easy 8. So it's got a 76. Another Hellcat. That's the Sherman 105. Sorry, I just kicked my tripod like a Dumas. This is going to be interesting. This is the M36 1B, I think it is. So it's the Sherman body with a Jackson turret on it. So it's got a 90mm cannon on it. That could be fun. Got this done. It's Pershing. This is a Sherman 75. That's the Sherman Jumbo, so that's going to be nice and slow, but hopefully it's got a 76. Sorry. That's a Jackson. Got a M4 half-track back there. That is the Wolverine, regular Sherman, and then a Hellcat in the end. And they've got some hills and crap and some roads. Go over the river. So, should be good. Alright, that's the beginning of the turns, and let's wait for Greg to bring his happy ass over here, and then we'll get going World of Tanks style. So it could be a total nightmare. It's a bit of a friendly game because we haven't played since last winter, but of course nothing on this scale. I just got this table done. So, I've had fun. It's probably too damn expensive, but it's been a blast. Alright, we'll pause and then we'll get back when Greg gets here. I'll see you. Holy shit! Turn 1 is done. Alright, basically it's a normal turn 1 in a game. Greg's advancing, trying to get the Priest on top of this hill back here. Already got his mortar carrier up there. Those guys are ready to party. Got his big guns in the center, so he's got
That's the Jackson. Behind that's a Sherman Jumbo taking his fat ass up the center. There's the Pershing coming up the center, and then M36-1B. He got real crazy with this, and I'll scroll out so you can see how fucking insane he is. He got him on the road, and this Sherman took off running. Almost in range of the big guys, but not. Then he's building up his left flank with the Sherman 105. A couple Hellcats. Got one Hellcat pivoted to the right. And then behind that hill, you can't see it, but he's got a Sherman, regular Sherman, an Easy 8, two Shermans. Sherman 105 too. So he's got some stuff over there. I think he's got some good forces over there. Most of the stuff advanced and ran. The old German side for me, I advanced Stug and the Puma over there on the left are behind the trees. I'll actually shift a little bit here so you can see it. Excuse the movement. We got them off the rough terrain coming off the hill. So the Puma came down, the Stug came down. Those two Panzer IVs and the Wirbelwind. I don't know what the fuck the Wirbelwind's going to do. Ferdinand pivoted and stayed on top of the ridge. I'm going to, just for the lack of any other intelligent idea I can come up with. Jagdtiger went into ambush and stayed exactly where he is. He's going to try to take advantage of his range. The Tiger moved down to try to get an open field battle. And then these guys are advancing to get behind this hill over here. So I've got the Hetzer, the Puma, and one of the Panzer IVs. I left the Brumbar in ambush too. So I'm going to try to lay down some rounds. But we'll see. I think I might actually see some fire here in the next round. Let's see what happens. All right, Greg's back. I'm going to go take a leak. See ya. Turn two's in the motherfucking books. Yeah, bitch. All right, Greg, moving up on all fronts. Greg's a real man, I'll tell you what. And there's Team Jack Daniels, this motherfucker. So we had our first two shots of the game. This Sherman drove right across the front of the battle. The Tiger fired at him and missed with a 1. Then he drew the fire of the Jagdtiger that was an ambush, sprung that while he was running for the cover behind this hill. And he rolled a 1 too, so he's a badass. Pershing's following him. He wants to be a real man too. Greg's moving. He's got his two heavy guns in ambush. You got the Jackson there, and then the Jackson Jr. M36-1B sitting behind him. He's got Hellcats flanking behind. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Greg's just doing. They're doing Tokyo Drift back there. The Jumbo's trying to move with his goddamn no engine in it because he weighs 45 million pounds. He's so obese. And Greg's got Team Sherman over here just driving over the hills, going crazy. And he's got the artillery section. I don't know where they're going. They're just driving. They're having a good time. I have no idea tactically what the fuck I'm doing either, but I've moved up Panther behind the ridge here, and he's joined by the Hetzer just because the Hetzer's a fucking loser, and a Panzer IV. Tiger took a shot, totally muffed it. His fucking captain needs to be shot, taken to the eastern front. Puma is cutting across the front, and then the Panzer IVs are moving up here to try to stop Greg's Sherman advance. I put the Wirbelwind, you can't even see him, but he's in there in the trees for God knows what reason. I'm probably going to get him the fuck out of there. There's the Jagdtiger up top. And then next to him's the Brumbar, who's still in ambush. And I've got, if you can see him, it's Stug over there in cover and ambush. And then with all the Sherman's moving to the right, on the German right, I moved the Ferdinand over there to try to support the guys over here. But there's the map. Greg's kicking some ass over here, driving like a freaking mother trucker. I don't know what, tactically, neither one of us know what the fuck we're doing. The water looks cool. The beer's going down smooth. And we'll see you in turn fucking 3. Hopefully somebody dies here. Got some huge explosions ready to go over there. They're almost like nuclear bombs. I think I got a little bit crazy as usual for that, but I got some fuel air bombs over there. Hopefully we'll use some of those. Alright, see ya!
Do both.
Alright, we'll do a quick overview of the battlefield. You'll see some tanks in the back there. Getting a little pile up here. On the other side, you'll see the Americans starting to pile up over here. Got some guys on that side, and over there's a Panzer IV that almost got his ass blown off behind those trees back there. There's another two Panzer IVs in the woods. Alright, so what happened to turn? This Hellcat's moving up the right side. Jackson's moving, not Jackson, sorry, the Wolverines moving out towards the bridgehead, backing up the big American push over here. We got Team Jack Daniels that everyone shot at last turn. He's thinking about going over the top. He's backed up by the Pershing. The artillery section's moving up with him, so you got the Priest and the mortar sliding over. Greg's left his big guns in ambush. We almost had one of his, the M36 1B almost pulled the trigger, but it was just out of range. That guy, he almost took out one of my Panzer IVs. Jumbo's moving up the road. He's on the road now, so he actually can move. The Hellcats have been sliding to the right. Greg is doing a lot of shifting here. Most is Easy 8 turn to the right. The other Shermans are kind of in ambush and moving to the right. There was one shot this turn, and it was another brick. It was a tough shot, though. Needed like a 6 followed by a 6. This Panther got the jump on that Sherman and missed completely. Bricked it. It was an advanced and fire. Hetzer's moved up behind him. Panzer IV's moved up behind the Panther. Puma's getting his gas mileage going. He jumped across the battlefield, and the Tigers were going to run him with him. They're kind of shaking off behind they're kind of cutting to the left. Brumbar's still in ambush. Hasn't even fired a shot yet. The Jag Tigers fired one shot at least. I've decided the Whirlwind needs to move to the left, just in case people come over the bridge, and that's the only thing he can do is just fire point blank with all of his cannons. Probably the only purpose he's going to serve this entire game. So those 5 assholes are going to move over here. I don't know what to do with the Stug. And then I got the Ferdy back there. And they got 2 Panzer IVs kind of humping each other in the trees. So that's what we got. Turn 4 is coming at you. I don't know what's going to happen here. It really depends on how crazy Greg gets, which could be fucking crazy. Alright, motherfucker, see you. Alright, turn 4, panoramic view. There'd be some death out there. Some of that's smoke. Some of that is very colorful smoke. We're firing. Americans got a bit creative with their smoke barrage. And also Steve had a little bit of lack of creativity with his gray paint. Alright, there's the battlefield. What do we got? What happened? Oh, Jesus. Start here. Hellcat is full of indecision and angst. He knows if he goes up the hill, shit's going to get real. Team Jack Daniels is doing some shots. We had a great shot from the Pershing. He fired, and you'd think he's a badass. He had a great side shot on this Panzer IV, but he bricked it. He had bounced off his armor somehow. His buddy backed him up. The Sherman Jumbo came up and cleaned up his mess for him. Cleaned up his rebound. He fired and destroyed the Panzer IV. The German big move was big fatty Ferdinand over there. He came out of ambush, and in the middle of all those smoke explosions over there, you see one regular Sherman 75. He drilled him right to the front plate and fucking blew his ass to pieces. We had a bunch of shots at that Sherman 105 from these assholes. They had like an impossible shots though. The Panther, the Panzer IV, and the Tiger all shot at them, but they needed like 7s. Greg's massing up here, and then still got his boys in ambush back here, the team big gun, and then the boys are starting to come off the hill. I don't know what they're going to do. A lot of explosions up. We're going to roll through this smoke goes, so at least we got to try some smoke rounds from the fucking mortar and the Priest both fired rounds. There's a Panzer IV in there that people shot at a little bit. He's still alive. The Stug's moving up to back him up. Ferdy's still back there, and then the Whirlwind is working on his freaking flyer miles, driving around in circles. And I still got the Jag Tiger and the Brumbar. I don't know what the fuck to do with them, but they're doing something. Alright, that's it. I don't know. It really depends if somebody has a mental break here and just drives over the bridge. It's gonna get fucking crazy. Yeah, see it. Alright, turn 5. Fucking crazy. Let's just see what's going on. I think that's everybody. What did we do? We had a bit of a stalemate, and I just got pissed off, so I drove.
The The stalemate turned my brain to mush. I don't know what's going on over there now.
I drove the Hetzer up.
The Americans are spinning in circles.
I drove the Puma up and fired everything into this Sherman, and I chipped its paint. But now it's going to get ugly. I'm sure. I don't even know what the fuck to do. There's a couple. Everybody ran up here. All the Hellcats ran up and fired at the Tiger, and one of them hit him, doinked his armor. I had perfect shots on that Easy 8 Sherman over there from everybody, and rolled shitloads of non-penetrations and misses and everything else. So he's still just hunky-dory fine. Jumbo's out there trying to flank people. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm kind of brain dead right now. But we did to spring these ambushes though, which is kind of cool. The Jackson and the M36-1B both got to fire at this Hetzer, and somehow, well, somebody doinked his armor. They skimmed one off the top. Thank Christ. I don't know how the hell he lived. But, yeah. We tried to fire some smoke from the Brumbar. The Yag Tiger fucking yagged it on the Pershing. The Pershing fired and missed on this Panzer IV in the trees over here. Ferdinand actually came down a little bit, so. And then there's like fuckloads of smoke over there, and that Sherman 105 is like hiding in there, Cheech and Chong, and so insane. All right, see ya. So we got through turn 7, and I think we were playing way too long. We about had a psychotic break. So this is like 3 days later. I got bored and I made some new templates for forests. So some wire armature trees with bark on them, and I've got a little surrounding terrain on the outside of them to make them look, just so you can tell where the edge of the woods are. And I put a little bit of outline on that one too. Worked on some new 4-inch smoke markers. I haven't done the 3-inch, I mean, they're 5-inch. I haven't done the 4 or 3s yet. Hopefully no one shoots light mortar ones, and the 2-inch ones. I'll be like, I think I'm just going to do 3, 4s, and 5s. So, kind of did a combo. There was a couple smaller ones there, so I put down 2 5-inches. And I've only got 3 5-inch smoke ones. And far side of that, you got a tank exploded. You still got a tank blown up over there. Panzer IV and a Sherman so far. So, a little bit of added dynamic of some new woods in the battlefield. Nothing like instant forest right in the middle of it. This Hetzer's still up here. The other guys are behind the hills. And there's Greg's main force. There's pick up the tripod here. Still got these guys hiding behind the smoke and behind the hill. And Easy 8 Sherman still has the damaged turret and a pin marker on it. There's another Sherman behind those smoke clouds, and there's a blown up Sherman back there too. See the explosion in the background. Yeah. Panzer IV, Stug, Ferdinand on that side. Still got the Brumbar and the Jag Tiger in the back. I'm flanking with the probably worthless Wirbelwind, and got these 5 guys up here. So that's it for right now. Just debating if I'm going to leave these dudes up or not. The trees, I think I will, because it was kind of a stalemate. It really seems, you know, I've only played a few games, but if you don't have a time limit, you don't have objectives to handle in those time limits, it just slows it down to a crawl. No one wants to go out there and get their asses handed to them going across the bridge. I think if I would have forced the Americans to say, hey, you got to get across this bridge in, you know, 10 turns, because it's, you know, 70 is normal, but this is a friggin' big map. You've got 10 turns to get across the map and maybe secure the other side or bridgehead. That would allow the Germans to sit back and wait, maybe. I don't know. We'll work on that one. Still learning. All right. I'll see you. Bye. Oh, shit. Turn 8 was a bit of a nightmare. Americans now emboldened with the magical appearance of this forest decided to push. So the big heavy guns, the Americans have moved up. That's the Jackson and the M36 1B. The Hellcat, excuse me, moved forward, and he fired a shot at the Panther, and Panther's back there bricked it. Before that, the Panther was able to fire, and that Easy 8 was stuck on the hill. Had a freaking turret was pinned. I mean, the turret was stuck, so it was in trouble, and he decimated him, shot right through him. Getting pissed off about that, the Pershing pushed forward around the turn on the next up and fired and went right through the front of the Tiger. So that was a freaking game changer. You got your big boy against your big boy straight up and blasted him. Panzer IV behind the Panther exchanged shots with the Hellcat. They both bricked. They've got some problems. Sherman Jumbo took off. He actually could go pretty fast because he's on the road, so he moved forward up behind those trees, and he's moving up with the other I think there's 2 other Shermans over there, the 105 and a 75. You can see the ass end of it back there behind the smoke. They're moving up. This was the ultimate waste, though. Team Jack Daniels moved forward, point blank range, shot at the Puma and rolled like crap. So I got pissed off. The next dice out of the bag was the Hellcat. He jumped up, moved, advanced, and fired, and he missed too. So I was like, fuck. So I'll watch now. The Puma's going to wipe him out. So the Puma fired, and he missed. But the Jagd Tiger didn't do as good as I thought, but he did hit. He hit the Hellcat, put a pin on him, and he's immobilized. So he's stuck up there. So that's, I don't know how much longer he is for this world. He might actually be, he might turn to something pretty good. They might leave him alone. You never know. Because now the rest of the American Army is pushed up on the hill. This M10 moved up and fired. He missed. I think he tried to, actually he was wasn't quite in range. No, he was in range. He tried to hit the Jagd Tiger and missed. So they're in a position to push across the bridge here and do some damage. All that's left to stop him is the Panther and the Panzer IV. It's a Hetzer back there behind the hill. He retreated. It was the first move out of the bag. And then the Wirbelwind cut across behind. He wants to try to be in a position when they come over the bridge that he can operate all of his guns. So the Americans are poised to cross both bridges. German, the Ferdinand fired at the Sherman 105 across over there and missed. And then the Stug and the Panther IV are laying low in these bushes and forests over here. And they're both in ambush. All the extra, between the smoke and the trees, they did not have a shot on any of those Shermans over there. So we shall see what happens. Alright, that was a good turn. Got 2 good kills. I would have liked to seen the Jagd Tiger kill somebody. The Brumbar even fired at the Pershing, and it wasn't even close. So the Pershing's out there now, so he could wipe out the entire American team now, especially with his buddies coming over the top to help him out. So we'll see what turn 8 or turn 9 brings for us. So should be pretty good. That's all I got. See if the smoke sticks around. We'll do some dice rolling. I hope I have enough damage markers. I got a few more over there. I'll probably get to use some of those in a minute. Oh God. Alright, we're just going to go 10 turns max, because it'll go on forever otherwise. Bye. Bitches! That just about sums up turn 9. What a fucking nightmare. I don't even know where to begin. But, shit went wrong. This side over here is probably going to be just the same. I'm out of damage markers. I got 1 left. So, I might have to call it. Oh shit! Fuck me, dude. It was just a good. I wanted to break the board in, see how to try to get these templates done. So I got accomplished what I wanted to do. All right, let's just walk you through this. I guess we'll do one more turn. We'll do turn 10 just because I love round numbers. All right, this is the bridge of death. Jesus, yeah. Plus the American heavy armor is coming up. I think the first guy out of the bag was the Pershing, and he was fixing to blow someone to shit, and then he. Oh no! The first one out of the Brumbar, and he fires and hit the Pershing, but trying to penetrate I mean, he needed like a 6 just to get the minimal hit on that after the penetration. He did, and he put a pin on it, but that probably saved his ass because the Pershing went to shoot at him. In between the Tiger Fear and the one pin, he failed his his order dice, so he couldn't fire. So that probably saved the Brumbar's ass. So he needs to go on vacation because he had like a look from behind. He was putting barbecue sauce on his ass. He's ready to blow a fucking hole in his face. There he is, and there's the Pershing. So it would have been liquid G. The Pershing failed. Then I think what happened next? I can't even fucking remember. Oh yeah, the Hellcat's like, I'm gonna get fucked up here. So he immediately took a shot at the Jag Tiger and hit him, but didn't penetrate and put a pin on him. The Jag Tiger came out of the box next and just said, "Oh fuck you," and fired, and the Hellcat evaporated. I think I got kind of crazy after that. That M10 tank destroyer tried to rush. And he got over his Tiger Fear, got across the bridge. He was running up for a side shot on that Panther, but that Panzer IV, when it was in ambush, it was mostly an ambush. Both of those guys were watching the right side, but he rotated his turret and fired, and he melted the M10. So I was like, oh fuck yeah! So that was enough. I had a Hellcat lined up right behind him, so he bolted ass across the bridge too, and basically fired a point blank range into the Panther and blew him to pieces. So the Tiger and the Panther both got killed. That Hellcat, I finally got to use this, so I was excited. The Whirlwind fired all of its cannons on the Hellcat, and with open top and a little bit of a downward angle from the top, it was it was fun. I had I think it was 8 rolls, and I hit like 6 dice were like 6s, so and the rest of them like 1s. So and then I rolled damage mark. Like 3 of them killed him, so it fucked him up. That Sherman did fire at the Puma. The Puma did his Reese move and got the fuck out of there. Then the Hetzer came up. He was down here and advanced up onto the hill. He fired and killed the Pershing. So that was Team Jack Daniels. Fucking done. These 2 big boys are coming up. Both of the half track and the Priest both fired indirect on the Brumbar and both missed. So if nobody moves, use a 5 or a 6. I don't think it'll matter because I think the Pershing will pass his dice. He will fucking kill somebody next. The Germans don't have a lot of shit left to stop anything. They got the Hetzer. There's a Panzer IV that went around and tried to go head up with the Pershing, but he missed completely. The Puma's sitting there. Whirlwind's back here, but he's not going to do much against heavy armor. If that Pershing gets across the river, it's all over. But I still have, I really still have the Jag Tiger. The Brumbar is basically, he's going to be on FMLA in a minute. The Ferdinand's over there, but he's up against, I got 3 Shermans crossing the bridge over there. There's 105 behind him, and a regular Sherman 75. A couple of them popped off shots at the Stug, and they put a pin on him, but they didn't penetrate him. One of them
missed. The other one didn't have a shot. Oh, we'll have to see what the Ferdinand can do against a lot of tanks. But they still have, you know, a Panzer IV there, a Stug, Ferdinand, and then the Jagd Tiger. So the Panther and the Tiger were big losses. But I guess so were the the M10 and the Hellcat and another Sherman and another Hellcat. And this is like global warming. The whirlwind. I'm glad I got to roll them. That was fun. Shooting all those dice. The other American armor moved up. The M36 Jackson and the M36 1B, whatever the fuck that thing's called. Jackson Big Mac back. Oh, and that Hellcat drove into got the hell away from that disaster over there. He didn't want to be with the rest of his buddies, so he got into the trees. And he'll help fire on the Ferdinand. So 4 American tanks getting ready to cross this bridge. 2 have made it across over there, but they're all toast. But they took out the Puma, and they took out the Panther, so that's pretty damn good. It was crazy. We'll come back for turn 10 in a minute. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. That was a freaking great turn. A slaughter. I don't even know who's winning. I guess order dice, damage dice wise, the Americans have lost 5 tanks, the Germans have lost 3. Is that right? Yeah, 3. But the Germans have lost pretty heavy tanks. Americans have lost so the Germans have lost a Panzer IV, a Tiger, and a Panther. So that's big. And the Americans have lost a Sherman 75, 2 Sherman 75s, 2 Hellcats. That was the Easy 8. And the M10 tank destroyer. And yeah. We'll see what else happens. Freaking nightmare. Alright, see ya. Well, holy shit. I've actually been away for like 3 weeks, maybe 4. I've been doing building closets for the girls. So turn 10. It's the last turn. I could do more, but I'm out of kill markers. I don't feel like painting more right this second. And any logical military commander, even, well, he might be disqualified for logical, but Ulysses S. Grant would even surrender after this shit. So turn 10, and you'll forgive me if it's turn 9 or turn 14. Fuck, I don't know. It's been a long time. Started off great, the Americans. I mean, they the Pershing probably bricked it. Maybe that was the. I'll take it off this tripod a little bit and walk around. Maybe that was the signified the beginning of the end. The Pershing pulled the first pin marker and fired, and Pershing's over there. Let me zoom in on. Oh God, I'm tripping on stuff. Pershing, beautiful tank, still functioning. One of the very few. Fired immediately on that Panzer IV in the woods. I'm like, oh yeah, first shot, gotta smoke him. That'll open up the gates. So, but no, he totally. I think he hit him, but then rolled 1 and put a pin on him. That was it. It was like pathetic. Panzer IV immediately said, "Oh shit, I'm still alive." So they were shocked. So they friggin' threw a frickin' round in the old breach and chucked one back at the Pershing, and they hit it, but it just bounced off and gave him a pin marker. So I think the next one out of the bag was a German one. And I was like, oh hell, I'm gonna get serious. The Ferdinand has been like the ultimate letdown. Fired at that Sherman jumbo that was right there. It was on the bridge at the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna kill this and stop the entire American offensive behind this blown up Sherman jumbo, and hit it and like rolled crap. And so he got a pin, which he immediately pulled the next dice, cleared his pin, rolled across the bridge. You know, even going slow on the road, got to go a little faster, and then fired a side, rotated his turret and fired at the Stug, and just blew it to hell. So I was like, oh shit.
The Americans are on the roll. They're going to push this bridge, and it's going to be an epic slaughter for the Germans, which was cool. Next thing that got ballsy, even though there was 1,700 corpses up here. This is the Jackson rolled across the bridge. No Germans in ambush, so hell yeah, like it's a whoop ass time, and rotates his turret, fires at the Panzer IV, blows it to hell. So that's two German tanks out right away. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, these guys are gonna fucking stomp our dicks. So they fucked them up bad. Another American dice pulled up, so I'm like, I'm gonna roll this convoy big time. So I rolled the other, this is that MB1, whatever the fuck it is, the tank destroyer Sherman with the Jackson turret. I mean, the Sherman with the Jackson turret. Forgive me on the initials, it's been a couple weeks. Rolls across the bridge, rotates, the Stug's just sitting there waiting, just asking for a big old hit me sign on it. Fired and give it a pin mark. That was it. Couldn't penetrate. Pretty pathetic. Stug's got like tinfoil armor. So sweet. That was fantastic. So that Hetzer survived, but those guys are the luckiest bastards in the world. I was worried the priest and the mortar who already zeroed in on the Brumbar, so next German dice I pulled, advanced him down the hill. He fired a 152 millimeter howitzer round and nailed the back, the MB1, whatever the hell it is, and just destroyed it. So I was like, oh shit. So the bridge is jammed. So I was immediately that's a freaking nightmare. Next dice pulled was another German, so I was like, oh shit. So there's the big boys. Had a great game. The Jagd Tiger just fires and just critically just fired right through, and probably would have killed both tanks probably with the round it fired. It was like all sixes, critical damage. Rolled, it was like massive damage. And then rolled 2 more sixes for the effect on the table. So it just freaking wiped out that light armor on that thing. Just destroyed it big time. So then you got this whole line of dead Americans here. Just a freaking slaughter. At least they tried to cross the bridge. That was pretty good. Since in the end, anyway, the priest kind of rolled up. He's back here blown up. Priest rolled up, said there's no way that Hetzer can survive, and fired around and totally rolled ones and missed. Hetzer shot back and missed. No, actually, the Hetzer shot before all that and killed the half-track, which was kind of like beating up the neighborhood kid, but the Hetzer is nothing too spectacular. Priest came up, tried to blow up the Hetzer for blowing his buddy up. Couldn't do it. And then, oh yeah, this guy's been phenomenal. Whirlwind rolled dirty up and fired 3 million rounds into the priest. I love the firepower on this thing. I can't wait to use it on infantry. But, probably 8 freaking 20 millimeter rounds exploded in the compartment with all those HE shells, and that was Toast City. So those guys were totally dead. That was the end of the American major thrust, and then they've got still everything. Here's the Easy 8 over here chilling out. That got blown up a couple turns ago. This is like the first guy that got blown up in the game. I think the Sherman back here. These guys were a total failure. That's the Sherman 105, and the other Sherman, they were the 2 next dice out of the bag. The Sherman rolled over the bridge. He fired at the Ferdinand and couldn't penetrate his armor. Sherman 105 fired at the Ferdinand, and he didn't even hit him. Actually, they both just totally missed. They rolled ones. So the Ferdy just, I guess, took whatever. And then the last shot of the game was a total prayer. The Puma rolled up, because I was going to say this is the end of the game anyway, and fired a side shot and destroyed the Sherman 105 on the bridge. So, Americans would have a Sherman Jumbo, a standard Sherman 75, and the Pershing. That's all they would have left. Germans have got a bunch of junk over there. That's kind of a weirdo pile of the Puma, the Whirlwind, and the Hetzer. I don't think either one of them could even scratch the paint on the Pershing. But they still have a Panzer IV, a Brumbar, Big Daddy over here. Where's he at? I'm screwing up with my zoom. Jagd Tiger. Yeah, and there's a Ferdy over here. So, Big time victory for the Germans. It was fun. I just wanted to get all the big tanks on the board. Try out the table. I threw down these little trees I made in the middle of it. My explosion markers. I just kind of copied them off somebody on YouTube. Thank you very much. They were fun. The smoke was there. Didn't really move. I couldn't move it at all. So the smoke was a factor early on, and then really didn't need it at point blank range. You could just throw a smoke hand grenade out. That was that was crazy over there. I had a lot of fun. That would be like a ecological disaster. That's like greenhouse gases right there. I thought the Germans were in deep shit. I thought Greg's force was gonna slam on through when the Panther died and the Tiger died. And I was like, oh god, Greg is gonna kick my fucking ass. And just as a recap, Hetzer did good. Did some damage. I'll have to watch back the video. I can't remember from 3 months ago what the hell it actually did, or 3 weeks ago. The Whirlwind, I know, took out 2 things. That was kind of cool. American armor being veteran with the gyro stabilization is amazing. I love it. They really the move and scoot thing, especially their infantry can do the same thing, and these tanks can do the same thing. Is pretty awesome. They can roll up and fire and have no negative thing. The Brumbar is good against light stuff. I think it's more devastating against infantry, I'm sure, and anything like in a building, it's going to wear them out. Panzer IVs did great. They got, like 2 of them got smoked, but they did all right. The Jagd Tiger is an all-star. I don't know what'll happen if it was by itself. It's against infantry, but if it can keep its range and get that advantage with that 120 millimeter anti-tank gun, and then its superior armor, it really can. It can take some hits and can dish out damage. The 30 is kind of a slower, a weaker version of it, but I mean, it's a threat. I think I would have started rolling right for it. I think I had like the freaking crew with some kind of mental deficiency in there. They couldn't shoot. But I think it would have sliced up the other Sherman and then would have taken out the Jumbo probably in the next turn or 2. It would have taken him out. And it still had backup from this other Panzer IV in the trees that could have moved out and flanked them. Pershing, great tank. It's back there behind somewhere. Let's see if I can stand up and see it. He did awesome. Good looking American tank. And the 2, I think if I wouldn't have rushed over the bridge, or Greg wouldn't have rushed over the bridge with those guys, I think those Americans would have done. Those tanks right there are very nice. The Jackson and the Jackson turret on the Sherman, they're pretty awesome. If I wouldn't have forced the mortar team and the priest into close combat, they probably would have done well too. But it's just sitting back doing nothing. You have to have, as far as I can tell, my massive bolt action experience of like 4 or 5 games. If you don't have a time limit or an objective, it's not a good game, because people will just sit back and it's I guess human nature to sit back and not do a damn thing, because that's been our problem. I think we have to move forward and say, you have 5 turns. I'm doing unique scenarios, and I could do better. So I'll work on that. Get some fixed rules out there, and expectations and objectives, and turn follow the actual what they want you to in the game. I would like to see more from the Easy 8 Sherman, but oh well. The gyro stabilizing rule is awesome. I can't say it enough. I think that's pretty damn cool. All right. Map's beautiful. How big is this damn thing? 12 by 8. River was nice. Bridges are good. I think it's a good template. Looking forward to trying these next. Here's my two bunkers with tank with rounds in there. I had some more houses at some point. I've been watching some Conflict 47 and some German guys and the Americans in reserve. I got some more German half tracks upstairs, halfway painted. I've got a what's it call it? I bought a King Tiger. That's all put together. Just got to finish painting it. I got a Calliope, American Sherman with the multiple rocket launcher on the top, and then I've got the Greyhound and the Chaffee. So quick little fast movers for the Americans. I'll use them at some point. I don't think I'm going to do another one of these 5,000 point nightmares. I kind of think I got freaked out in the end. Like, I can't come back down here. And went up and started building closets for my girls. But pretty. All right, man, I'll see if I can edit this bastard up and have it out there. All right, guys, have fun, and I'll try to get more out there quicker and faster. Oh, next scenario I think will be something with the bridges. I might try to use these bunkers. I think I'm going to have either a German or American force. I'll roll dice in defense, and then the objective will be to, they'll set up first, and the Americans will have, or the Germans will have reconnaissance on the defensive side. Then I'll have to get across the bridge and try to secure one of the bridges, and then move armor out on like the 4th turn or something, and play like a 7-turn game or something like that. But nothing this big. Maybe like 1 or 2 tanks, and to see how it goes. Definitely want to play some infantry, some small stuff, maybe some 1,500 point games, because I think it'll be small, it'll be a little bit more fun and faster, and crank through them. All right, see ya.